So, hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. So, there's a new study out. In fact, there are a series of studies out that suggest that AI content may not really be best for your website or for your brand because the vast majority of people that encounter AI content, whether it be AI generated images, AI written articles, all of those contribute to you losing credibility. AI content would often mean that you would see a higher bounce rate because people do not want to engage with a website that's not real. And the whole idea of having a brand, of having a website and engaging with people is that you are a person on the other end. And so these new studies reveal over here quite a few interesting things. And so a few key points here. Consumers can spot AI generated content across both images and text. Older decision makers are more critical of AI content. Uh, considering limitations to the considering the limitations of AI content and how it's viewed, it's best to keep AI content for editing and outlining what you want to write about. So before I get into the video, it's important to say this that AI content is improving almost every day. So there's a new AI agent that's out. There are new algorithms that come out, and the quality of this content improves almost on a regular basis. The problem is for the longest time since ChatGPT was launched, for a person like me, I can tell when I'm reading content that's generated by AI. I don't know why I'm so good at reading AI content, maybe because I've read a lot of it. But then I know other people that are not digital marketers, that don't do SEO, that have not done a lot of writing, and they can read a piece of content and with 99.9% accuracy tell me whether that content was generated by AI. Now, the way to mask that would be is to edit that content, change a few things around, give it a human touch, and then it will be harder to tell the difference. But in this case, the assumption, and they've not said this, the assumption is that these are AI generated content without any human editing. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So, a study by digital marketing consultant Joe Youngblood found that US consumers correctly spotted AI images 71.63% of the time when shown real photos side by side with AI versions. The survey, the study surveyed around 4,000 Americans of different ages. Youngblood states when asking them to determine which photo was real and which was AI, over 70% consumers on average could correctly select the AI generated image. Detection rate varied amongst the type of images. So, celebrity images of Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, 88.78% identified it correctly. Natural landscapes, Italian countryside, 88.46% identified it correctly. Animal photos, 87.97% identified it correctly. And space images, 83.58% identified it correctly. However, some of the images were more challenging to detect. Only 18.5% correctly spotted an AI version of the Eiffel Tower, and 50.89% identified AI created paintings of George Washington. And there's a reason for that. The reason for that is when you have something that's natural, it's harder for AI to generate those images that make it look more realistic. Now, I've seen a sneak peek of an AI image generator that does a very good job of generating natural, realistic images. And my comment to the creator was that this could literally put people that sell stock images out of business, even though people that sell stock images are now pretty much not doing as well as they were 4 or 5 years ago before the advent of AI. So if you have a building, it's easier for AI to generate the image of that building because the image that building was probably designed in CAD, or it was designed, by an architect who drew straight lines and designed that building. And so AI just needs to replicate that. But with natural stuff, it's a lot harder. And then if it's a natural environment, it's even more challenging because there are loads of more variables, which makes it harder and which makes it easier to detect for now an image that has been generated of something that's natural, like even a cat, a dog, the cat sitting in a yard. Very hard to generate those types of images using AI. I know, making it very realistic looking because, it's just not the technology is not there yet. So let's just leave it at that. Similar skepticism towards AI written content. A separate report by Line, and Line, and surveyed 1,000 Americans about AI written content. Key findings were that 82.1% of respondents said that they could spot AI content. They demonstrated that they could spot AI content. Among those aged 23 to 34 were more adept at doing it. So 88.4% of those people in that age bracket could spot AI content. Only 11.6% of people said that they had never noticed AI content, which means now if you have AI content on your website and you see a higher bounce rate, this could be one of the reasons that people spot that you have AI content and they don't think you're a real site. So they go back to Google search. And I do a lot of audits every week, and I'm looking at when I look at how it bounce rate, the first thing I do is I check for AI content. I read the content, and I see most times it's AI content. Now, there are also many instances where the content itself or the page itself does not meet the intent of the search, which is a totally different discussion. But usually, I would say 6 out of 10 times when I see a high bounce rate, I go to the page, especially for blog posts, I see it's a AI generated content, people bouncing off it right away. And even a bigger turnoff that I've noticed is that if you have an AI generated image as your poster image or your featured image on your blog, so the first thing that loads is an AI generated image, you've lost that person right away. So don't do that. If you want to keep people on your website, because a higher bounce rate eventually means that you will start losing rankings and your page will start losing traction. And so I think this is data that backs what I'm seeing from the audits I'm doing almost every day. But then there are reputational risks to brands and writers. So if you're a writer and you're writing AI generated content, then that's not really good because most people can now spot AI content and they can tell that this is not something you've written. Also, it reflects negatively on the brand. So there around 40% of people said that they would view a brand negatively if it had AI generated content on it. That even includes if you have like product descriptions that are like not human edited, you just have blatant AI content in it. And also then 10.1% of the people said they would view a brand favorably even if they had AI content on the site. So you just have like out of 100% of the people, you have only 10% of people that are gonna like your brand if you have AI generated content on it. Uh, because before anyone buys a product from you, they are reading what's on your website, and if they don't like what's on your website, they will not buy from you. So there are a few acceptable use cases of AI, like outlining content, doing research, a bunch of new AI agents like Manus. And there was another one. There was, I think, is Geek Spark. So all of those are great. They can help you do research or do a lot of in-depth research. Once they've outlined what you need, you can go ahead and start writing that article, and then use AI to like improve the quality of your writing, improve the quality of your spelling. Make sure your spelling is uniform across like a larger article. All of that is great, and AI makes that a lot easier. But without that human touch, you're gonna eventually start losing people on your website because people are now slowly becoming tired of having to run into these. You've kind of got this AI fatigue, but people just don't want to see more AI images. They don't want to see more AI content. They want to see something that's written by a real person. And if you can pull that off, in a vast sea of websites that are wholly using AI generated content and AI generated images, then you have a chance of doing better than them. So I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you got some value out of it. Like and subscribe as always. Leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Happy ranking.